Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Rob Cesternino, and I am back to get you ready for episode number 3 of Survivor 43. Somehow, amazingly, we are 3.5 hours into this season. We are back with our first 60-minute episode of the season. This is a brand new series that I started last week where I'm going to get you ready, a little bit of a refresher about what maybe you might have forgotten since last week's episode, and some things to keep in mind. I'll give you some predictions also, and I'll tell you about something that I have noticed from one of the publicity photos for this episode that I don't think anybody else is talking about. So I'm interested to see if it is indeed something that we will learn more about on Wednesday night. Back last Wednesday, of course, we saw Justine voted out of the tribe. We also saw the first Beware advantage found in the game. I am very interested on Wednesday night to see if another Beware advantage is found and if it is going to be the same type of Beware advantage task that we saw Cody have to complete, because we saw where Mariah is already voted out of the Baka tribe. It seems like maybe it wouldn't be fair for a person on the Baka tribe to find the Beware advantage. You only have to find 5 beads. I kind of think they're going to do something different for each tribe to get the Beware advantage, something in a similar vein to what Cody had to do, but it'll be interesting to see if another one ultimately ends up being found. Let's look at our 3 tribes as we head into Wednesday's episode. Vessi got a lot of attention last week. We saw Justine voted out of the tribe. The name of this week's episode is I'll Sign the Divorce Papers. That has to do with the Dwight and Jesse relationship. Jesse is the one who says that in the preview for this episode of Survivor. Dwight talks about their marriage type relationship, their marriage of convenience, and Dwight says that he is sleeping on the couch. We know Jesse is very closely aligned with Cody and NECA. Cody also has the idol. He is immune. He can't be voted for. I am worried about Dwight. Dwight has his vote back, but I could see him being somebody that the tribe ultimately goes after if they end up going to tribal council in this episode. I kind of do not think that that will happen in this week's episode. I really want to see how Dwight reacts to being betrayed by Jesse, but just in terms of like Survivor name titles, that the name of the episode is about I'll Sign the Divorce Papers. It's speaking to that relationship. I almost feel like that because of that, I feel like it is not going to be Vessi that goes to tribal council this week. Let's go ahead and talk about the Baka tribe, another tribe that we have spent a lot of time with here in the first 3.5 hours of the season. And so we saw last week where there was a lot of discussion about Gabler and his immunity idol and how long it is going to last for. We know that it is for his first 2 tribal councils. That was what was discovered when Janine went through his bag. We know from the preview that Sammy is going to tell Gabler that people were going through his bag. Is going to make him very upset. And he says to some extent, we have to get rid of her. Is he talking about Ellie? Is he talking about Janine? I am not sure. There's also a preview that was not necessarily the trailer, but they give you special sneak previews, like 45-second clips from the episode. And we saw that Gabler is really not feeling well. He talks about going into hibernation mode. Ellie seems like she is getting kind of annoyed with Gabler. If Baka goes to tribal council, I had kind of thought that maybe Janine could be the person who ends up going. Again, I feel like that Ellie has gotten so much to do here in these first 2 episodes. She's been presented as such a strong character. It would be a surprise to me if she was voted out this early from the game. I feel like that she's somebody who's going to be around until the merge. But that being said, I also feel like that I can't see her ally going here. They can't figure out how to get rid of Gabler. Now, maybe they can pull off some sort of like great maneuver where they can sort of Reichenbach Gabler into not playing his idol at the tribal council and voting him out. But I wonder if that maybe if we see Sammy talking to Gabler, that maybe Sammy ends up being collateral damage. I'm still worried about Owen. I don't think he's out of the woods. I didn't like how Ellie was talking about Owen, but if I have to make a prediction, I'll still say that I think that Sammy is going to be the person to go. And that brings us to Coco. That's really our mystery tribe. We don't know really too much of what's going on. They really only got a couple of minutes of screen time in the last episode. We saw a little bit of the Coco tribe in the preview where we saw Cassidy talking about what a great society this is. It's James's birthday also, and they're celebrating that. I had said that I thought that Coco could potentially go the entire pre-merge without going to tribal council, but I don't know. I'm feeling like I can't come up with a person from Baka to go home. And so I don't think it's going to be Vessi. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I think that maybe Coco goes to its first tribal council. We didn't see them at all last week. Maybe the editors were saying, okay, we're going to see so much of them in episode 3. We don't need to show you so much of them in episode 2. Let's spend some more time with the other tribes. And this has been the toughest tribe to predict. But I will say that I could see Cassidy being the person to go home. I think that maybe it might make sense if we saw her in the previews talking about like, oh, this is such a great society that we're building. And then ultimately she's the person to go home. So that's my official prediction for episode 3, that I think Cassidy will be the person to go home from Coco. All right. So enough of these predictions. Let's talk about something else that I noticed going into this episode that I think could be cool. So Survivor is giving us a couple of publicity stills for each episode so far this season. They're kind of giving us almost nothing in terms of photos from before these episodes come on. And so I saw a couple of photos from the challenge. There's a photo of, Vessi jumping into the water. There's a photo of Coco working on the puzzle at the end of the challenge. But I noticed this other photo, which I can't really explain what this is. Okay, so if you're listening to the podcast version of this, check out the YouTube version every week. But there is a skull. They would then nail through it that is attached to a piece of bamboo, like a beam. And this is unusual. This is not like part of a shelter. It doesn't look like it's part of an immunity challenge. It's daytime, so it doesn't seem like something from Tribal Council. If it was, I feel it would be weird for CBS to give us a picture from Tribal Council in the daytime. I wonder if this could be some sort of version of a Shipwheel Island, Big Rock Island that we are going to get from this season, where players are going to be brought together and somebody is going to get an advantage. And I think it's going to be maybe something that we haven't seen before here in the new era. And so it's interesting that I haven't seen, the skull had to do with, like, we saw that like in Do or Die. I don't know exactly what's going to go on, but I feel like that the players will be brought together, and I feel like that they will have to make some sort of a decision or risk something together. And I think that we'll see that play out here in this episode. What do you think? Am I missing something obvious? Would love to hear your thoughts, especially in the comments. Let me know who you think are going to be the next person voted out of the game. Of course, we will have everything on Rob It's a Podcast, from the know-it-alls to my exit interview with whoever it is and much more. So make sure you subscribe. Go to robitswebsite.com/subscribe. Thank you so much for checking out another What to Expect for week number 3. I hope you enjoy Survivor Wednesday night, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.